Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome to another Soul Calibur video. Now today I'm very pleased to bring you another history of video, and today it will be on none other than the Hero King himself, Algol. Now here's a fun fact: outside of Night Terror, Algol is considered to be the strongest character in the entire series. With an ancient story that goes so far back that he's deemed by many to be a god, Algol is one of the most important and integral characters to the entire series, despite his appearance being somewhat late, as he didn't surface until Soul Calibur 4. However, his story is etched in legend, and thus let's begin talking about it. Now as I'd mentioned, Algol's story starts way before the events of Soul Edge, and it does predate all of the characters in the Soul Calibur series, as the events that I'm going to talk about here don't even have a proper date. Now Algol is an ancient ruler in the Soul Calibur universe. However, at no point in time are details revealed about which country Algol looked over. However, despite this, Algol's extreme power allowed him to spread peace throughout the lands, meaning that he didn't have no enemies, as he would have eradicated them by now. The Hero King's reach was far and wide, and he was able to bring a golden age of peace throughout his land. Now his heroic quest would eventually bring him across Soul Edge. Now Algol was surprised by its immense power, as he's never come across anything quite like this in his time. So Algol would in fact take the weapon for his own, and use it as a way of spreading peace, which was the first time Soul Edge had ever been used in that way. Now normally Soul Edge had an influence over its wielder, as it would prey on their sanity and turn them into a monster. However, this didn't work on Algol. His godlike status prevented this, and he was far too powerful to succumb to the blade's will. So for a significant amount of time, Algol would use Soul Edge to spread peace across the world. And as you would imagine, Algol was beloved by many, especially by his people. However, his son on the other hand wasn't so happy about this. Arcturus had grown sour of his father's fame and power, and so a rift of jealousy would open up between the two, and Soul Edge would sense this, and the blade would eventually reach out and prey on the young son of Algol, tempting him to pick up the sword and have it become his own. So Soul Edge would influence Arcturus and attempt to manipulate him into killing Algol, and as you would expect from an ancient hero myth, a fight like this most certainly ends in tragedy, and Algol was forced to kill his own son. Disgusted by the influence that Soul Edge could have over anyone, the Hero King made it his life's mission to find a way of destroying Soul Edge, and thus this would lead up to the creation of Soul Calibur. Now in order to create its counterpart, Algol would break fragments of the sword off and cleanse them, and from here on out he would attempt to create Soul Calibur. However, despite the number of attempts he tried, he always seemingly failed, and Algol finally realized that the one thing that Soul Calibur was actually missing was a soul that the blade could bond with. So Algol decided that he would sacrifice his own life if it meant benefiting the rest of the world with a blade like Soul Calibur. Now after Algol had sacrificed his life, he entrusted Soul Calibur to a tribe and wanted them to protect this sword for all of eternity, as it would allow the blade to remain pure and powerful until Soul Edge appears once again, so that someone could wield the sword to destroy it. Now although Algol physically died, his soul was sealed deep within Soul Calibur, and he ended up in a place called the Astral Chaos Realm. Now the Astral Chaos Realm is a literal world that is created within Soul Edge and Soul Calibur. It's on another plane of existence, and it's filled with dark and chaotic energy. Now whilst Algol was slumbering in this realm, the dark chaotic energy of the world began to corrupt him, slowly turning the Hero King into an avatar of war and destruction. And this corruption would go on for hundreds if not so thousands of years. At least that is until one day Algol was awoken from his slumber. You see, during the end of the third Soul Calibur game, Nightmare and Siegfried would clash once again, with Siegfried wielding Soul Calibur and Nightmare wielding Soul Edge. The clashes of their swords awoke the Hero King, and when he was able to gather his thoughts, he realized what was going on here. Not only that, but he now had a second chance at life. So Algol would use his immense power to simply will himself back into existence in the Soul Calibur universe. He knew that he couldn't remain in this form for too long, so he believed that by wielding Soul Edge and Soul Calibur at the same time, then he'd be able to remain in this reality. Not only that, but he saw Soul Edge and Soul Calibur as his weapons, with Soul Edge being a symbol of his power and Soul Calibur being a symbol of his time as a king. Now after creating the Tower of Remembrance, he'd invite fighters across the globe to come here for one final clash, and this is where he came face to face with none other than the samurai known as Mitsurugi. Now Algol severely severely underestimated the samurai, as he was able to hold his own the entire time they fought, and Algol was honestly shocked, as he didn't realize the quality of mortals had gone up since his time. But before the battle could conclude, Nightmare had been slain by Siegfried, and Soul Edge was seemingly destroyed, so Algol was pulled back into the Astral Chaos Realm before he could even find Siegfried or Nightmare. Now when he was cast back into the Astral Realm, Algol was not satisfied with where he was, so in his corrupted state, he'd want to return back to reality and corrupt it with the dark energy of the Astral Chaos Realm. By actually doing so, he could remain in that reality, and thus he would attempt to learn and control the chaos energy. Now word of this actually slipped out into the ears of none other than Edgemaster, an individual that was well aware about Algol's existence and what his plans were, so he himself would travel to the Astral Chaos Realm to fight the Hero King. Whether or not he could keep up with him is something we just don't know, as unfortunately Soul Calibur 5's story mode doesn't really focus on anyone outside of Patroclus and Pyrrha, so sadly that does bring an end to this video. Hope you enjoyed it and actually learned more by watching it, as Algol is a very important figure in the Soul Calibur universe and has actually played an integral role behind the scenes. Fun fact, he's actually been referenced to multiple times throughout the game series up until his reveal in Soul Calibur 4, so there definitely was some foreshadowing for his return. Now as for his chances of getting into Soul Calibur 6, I'd say they're pretty damn low, as a new character we do have in Soul Calibur 6 as well seemingly imitates the ability to wield both Soul Calibur and Soul Edge in each hand, so unfortunately I feel like Algol's place has been taken up by Astral. But in saying that, DLC is still an option, so the chances of him coming back are most certainly viable, but I personally wouldn't hold out for it. But yeah, that's it for this video guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other character suggestions, please put it down in the description below, as we're only a month away from Soul Calibur 6, so I'll be doing a History of Soul Calibur episode every single week on Saturday, so please do keep an eye out for that. Now before this video wraps up guys, if possible let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's a great way of helping out the channel since YouTube's ad system is broken as hell, so by giving it a thumbs up it helps out a ton. And if you want to go the extra step, we also have a Patreon set up, and a link for it will be down in the description below. Anyway guys, as always, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care and I'll see you all next time.